Morning, everyone. I once again welcome all the participants for this 5-day online faculty development program, the future of computing, emerging technologies, and trends. Now, I request Srimati Kiran Mai to introduce today's resource person, Dr. S.M.D. Mujib. Madam, please over to you.
Okay, sir, thank you. Distinguished guests, respected principal, head of the department, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants, a very good morning. I, B. Kiranmayi, working as assistant professor in the
This
Department of
conference will
Physics,
now be recorded.
on behalf of the organizing committee, welcome you all to the 5-day FGP, the future of computing, emerging technologies and trends. I deem it an honor to introduce the resource person for today's session. Dr. S. M. D. Muzi. He currently serves as an information security analyst at IMAF Tech. He holds a PhD degree in computer science and engineering from JNTU an MTech in artificial intelligence from Hyderabad Central University, and a BTech in computer science and engineering from JNTU. He published several research papers in top-tier conferences and journals, combining 6 years of teaching experience with over 7 years in IT. Thank you.
Now, I request Dr. S.M.D. Mujib to take over the session.
Yep. Thank you, madam, for your nice introduction. Yep. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Can we start, or do we need? Can we wait for a few more minutes for other participants to join?
Now, we can start, sir.
Yes. Fine.
Let them join.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I once again welcome you all for this 5 days FDP at G Polarity Engineering College, and today is our fourth day, if I'm right. And today's session is on PAM. What is PAM? PAM is Privilege Account Management. Okay, and for that PAM solution, we have many different tools available in the market, and the tool specifically about which we are going to learn today or get introduced to it is a CyberArk. Okay, so I have divided the session into two parts. First is what is a basically PAM and what is the necessity and what are the risks along with, and what does the solution offered by the CyberArk. Okay, and I guaranteed you that the session won't be a very long session. It won't be a 3 hour session, so we'll make it short and more useful, okay, and knowledgeable. So we'll start. So first we need to understand the necessity of CyberArk or PAM solution. We should understand what is a privilege account. Everything in real world, or I would say in industry, evolves around these privilege accounts. So what is a privilege account? So privilege account are those with special permissions on a system, application, or a database. Okay, imagine a person having complete control over a database. Imagine a banking application. Okay, whatever transaction you do, the deposit, withdraw, or anything, everything, as you know, is stored in a database. And imagine a person who has control over the database. Okay, so what will happen? He wants, he can do anything. Okay, other way around, imagine someone hacks that person credentials. Okay, a person who is having the master privilege over the database is a good person. He will do nothing, fine. But imagine someone, a hacker or some outsider, will hack those credentials, and then he can transfer any amount to his account, or he can do whatever he wants, as I might have been seeing in many movies. So these privilege accounts are very, I would say, important, as well as they should be kept safe. So we look at what are the different types of privilege accounts. So what is the key principle? The key principle is always enforce least privilege. Okay, always make sure you give least privilege. Okay, for endpoints, for end users, endpoints, accounts, applications, server. You should give privilege to an account and application only up to where they need it. Okay, not to the fully extent. So what are the different types of privilege account? So starting with the small accounts, we have local admin accounts. Okay, you might be seeing these local admin accounts on your PCs. Okay, on your desktops. If you remember, okay, when we used to have like Windows 2008, 10, we used to have a administrator account. Nowadays, the user itself is having the administrator account. The owner of the system or a laptop is administrator. But if you remember, if you go to old OS things, there will be local admin accounts. So these local admin accounts are even present now in servers. Okay, under different names like default account, or it's a administrator account, or ADMIN admin account. Okay, these all are local admin accounts which have admin privileges on a server, on the single server, on the single server, not on all the servers. So these are like non-personal accounts that provide administrator access to the local host or the instance only up to that. So next level of a little higher privilege account is a domain admins. Okay, what is a domain admin? Domain admin is also a admin, but he has privilege account over a set of all the servers, okay, which all are connected in a network. Imagine a forest of different networks which are connected over some LAN or internet or anything. So here the domain admin will have access to all the workstations and servers, okay, which are present within that particular domain. Okay, we may have different domains. So in particular domain we have a admin account who has privilege over all the workstations and servers present in that particular domain. Then we have some emergency admins. Okay, these are likely referred as break glass accounts. Okay, emergency, like we have emergency exits in bus and everything. So if some server goes down and if domain admins are unable to access it, they are unable to bring it up, we have some emergency admin accounts through which we can enter into the system and we can reboot it, or we can just have a recovery, we can try to recover it. Okay, or we can bring the instance back to few days where everything was fine. So likewise we have emergency admins. Apart from this, we even have these we are talking are more likely, local admins and domain admins are more likely for Windows. Okay, similar account for root, for Linux we have like root. Okay, for our Linux systems or AWS systems we have root accounts which are like super admins. Okay, they can do what, they can reconcile the passwords, or they can create recount, they can create other accounts. These are like super admins in Linux systems. Then we have service accounts. Okay, what are the service accounts? Again, they are admins, but only particular to a particular service. Okay, they are not admins to a complete server or a domain. Okay, there are only admins or privilege accounts, okay, to a particular application or a service that interacts with the operating system. Okay, apart from this we have application admins. Okay, these application admins, they have special access to the database so that they can import the data or export the data, or they can run some scripts on it or create backups and restore the application. So these are the various types of privilege accounts. Okay, so if there is a privilege account, we will have a user ID and password. Okay, without password we are unable to log into any system or any application, any service, any workstation or any endpoint. So now we'll talk about the what is password manager. Okay, see here what is a password manager. Password managers are important for storing and managing the credentials. Okay, because if you store the passwords on documents or a spreadsheets, Excel or paper, okay, that could be result in what data breach. Someone if you have now you are an admin, you have your admin username, your ID and password. You have written that username and password in some Excel sheet and you have stored it in your local system. If someone hack your system or they uh, they got a chance to have a look at that username and password, they can use it. So there could be a very dangerous data breach if you use this kind of thing. So what is the solution for this? We'll be discussing in coming slides. Don't worry. Okay. So this is one problem. What is the problem? Password manager is a problem. Second one, we should avoid sharing the credentials unless and until it is necessary. Okay. Suppose we have a team of 10 members. Okay, a small team who are working on some database, and one of them has a admin user ID and password. Unless and until it is required or approved, you should not be sharing those with your teammates or anyone, because that will increase the risk. Because you're using the same username and password, we don't know who is going to access that using the same credentials. Okay, it is difficult to identify in normal cases. Okay, not here, in normal cases. So we try to avoid sharing the credentials. Okay, because this could lead to what risk of data loss. Then access and encryption. All the credentials must be encrypted. Okay, if you store like this in paper, document or worksheet, there won't be any encryption. Password is stored in the raw format. Okay, but what we should always do, we should always encrypt the password and store it, and that too it should be accessible to only those who needs or own them. Okay, unless and until if there is any specific need, we should not share the password, that too that encrypted password. So what is the major type of attacks? What we see is a man in the middle attack. Okay, what is a man in the middle attack? Generally, okay, we have a user and we have a web application or a database, anything. Okay, so this is our original connection. What does a man in the middle attack do? He comes in between, he cancels the original connection, and he pretends, okay, for web application he pretends like to be a user, for a user he pretends like to be a web application, so that all the data is passed via this hacker. All the data is being passed via this hacker. Whatever credentials he's passing, he's collecting it, he's entering it, he's getting the data. He behaves like this is a legitimate connection. Okay, but once he has uh, hands on all the credentials and everything, he will do whatever he want later. So this is one of the attack which we generally see. Okay, so what can be done? Okay, first is we have to see that our sessions are integrity. Okay, that is what sessions integrity. We have to see if there are any changes being done. Okay, are there changes being done, and if there are any changes, are they being tracked or not? Okay, session monitoring. Are we monitoring the usage of privilege account? If there is a yes legitimate user, a real admin, okay, he's logged in into system and he's doing all the required tasks, running the jobs and everything. But are we monitoring? Is there anyone who is monitoring or recording the session? Okay, so that they can audit it later. Okay, so this is one challenge we have. One first one is what is the session integrity. Second one is session monitoring. Next is session encryption. Is there any way to encrypt the session between the user? Okay, is there any way of encrypting the session between the privileged user and the asset where he is able to see, and that too only a authorized person can view the traffic. If session is encrypted, it should be visible by only a authorized people, not to everyone. So actually CyberArk gives solution to all these challenges. Okay, a small quiz. Which one of the below protect us against man in the middle attack? Is it encryption? Is it authentication, authorization, or password manager? You can just give your answers in the chat. I'll repeat the question. Which one of the below protect us against man in the middle attack? Number one, encryption. Two, authentication. Three, authorization. Four, password manager. Only one answer. We have 30 plus participants. Good. Yes. Subramanyam, Anusha, Nagraj, you are right. Encryption. Yes. Encryption is a way to protect us against the man in the middle attack. Okay. What is authentication? Authentication is just uh, it's like first level of entry, user ID and password. Okay, it is like entering the user ID and password. Okay, it will not protect us from man in the middle. What is authorization? Once you log in into the system, you should able to see means limiting your access. Okay, limiting your access. So whatever is allowed to you, you'll able to see only that. That is authorization. And we have seen what password managers. Okay, so right answer is encryption. Good. Okay. Our privilege, what is a privilege session management? Here, encryption, as you said, man in the middle attack is being avoided or protected using what encryption. That is what certificates and encryption. Example: this is all our web now. If you open any session, if you go to Google, you do anything. Yeah, see if you open this google.com, if you click on this, connection is secure. See, certificate is valid. You are having the certificate, you can check. Okay, what is the valid period, who has issued it. Okay, everything you can think of anything, you'll be having that. Okay, suppose if you open a HDFC, see you can go and check the certificate. It is issued to them and it is issued by DigiCert, and what is the validity, how the encryption is happening. So this is an example of this certificates and encryption, so which is already in place. Okay, when we browse using a normal browser to any authenticated sites, all are encrypted and all have a valid certificate. So here the chance of man in the middle attack has been reduced. This is for normal web browser sessions. Similar thing we should have for our server access. Okay, for server account, privilege accounts, what we need to do, we have to have these things. Okay, we have to see who is logging and who, and we need to audit that. Any activity performed by a privilege account need to be logged. Okay, so that they can be audited later on. So which privilege account is being logged, after logging what he is doing. Okay, what commands he is running, or what operations he is, what services he is starting, what services he is stopping. Okay, what code he is running, everything should be logged. Okay, why? For auditing purpose. Whenever it's required, we need to do a audit on that, and then we have to check for any anomalies and alerts. there are few commands. For example, in root, okay, in root, in Linux, there are few commands, okay, which are used to uh, run the services or stop the services, or you using the you can crash, even crash the systems. Okay, we should our system should monitor each and every keystroke what a privilege account is typing. Okay, so based on the keystroke, the system should alert the admins, as well as it should terminate the session. Okay, if any malicious things are happening or anything. So all these features which you are talking about are present in CyberArk. Okay, and as I said, all the sessions should be recorded. Okay, all the sessions, all the privilege accounts. Here we are talking about only privilege account, not normal accounts. We are not at all bother about a normal account. If a user is there, he will access to a server, he will do his work, but he don't have admin access over the server. What he can do is he can run simple scripts or simple services which will not affect the whole system. So those accounts we are not monitoring, we are not bother about it, we are doing nothing on it. Only we are talking about privilege accounts. Okay, try to differentiate between privilege accounts and normal accounts. Okay, now we'll see what is a PAM. Okay, what is PAM? PAM is privilege access management. Okay, which consists of an cybersecurity strategies and technologies for control over the privilege access and permissions for users. Okay, our PAM solution will have what? Control over the privilege access and permissions of users, accounts, process, systems across all the IT environments. So, this is a PAM solution. And what are the components of PAM? Okay, we have six major components of PAM. First one is what? Credential management. Okay, privileged credentials should be stored in a secure database. All the privileged credentials should be stored in a secure database. Okay, it should not be stored on a local Excel, local system, paper, or a spreadsheet. It will be stored in a secure database. That is the first important component of PAM. Then we have what? Access management. Only authorized users can access the credentials or systems. First point, we are storing them in a secure database. No doubt, we are storing the credentials in the secure database. Second part, these should be accessible only to authorized users. These can be accessible only to authorized users. MFA, what is MFA? Multi-factor authentication can also be enabled. What is multi-factor authentication? Nowadays, it's very common. Only having user ID and password will not let you into any system. They need additional things like an OTP or a answer to a secret question or your biometric. Additional thing, multi-factor authentication or a key. There are many ways of MFAs. Okay, and the general and commonly used way of MFA is what? OTP. When you try to access any banking application or anything, you'll see that MFA only having user ID and password is not sufficient. This comes under access management. Next, we have what? We have session management. Okay, as I said, all the sessions connected should be provided with PAM. Okay, all the sessions should be direct, should not be direct. Okay, it should not be RDP. We should not take RDP or SSH or HTTP directly. All the sessions should be go only via a PAM solution. In our case, via CyberArk. If you want to connect to a RDP system, you should connect only via CyberArk or any PAM solution, not only CyberArk. See, this is our RDP. Generally, we enter the computer name here, something like 10.110.200. Okay, this is our RDP session. We click on connect. then we have to enter. It will throw an error, but generally it will ask us to enter user ID and password. Okay, like this connection should be avoided. Only session should be through that. If it is a Windows machine, it is RDP. If it is a Linux machine, it will be what? SSH, means putty. I hope you know. I think I don't have. Yeah, putty is there. Good. Mm, yeah, putties are used for. I don't know, download it now. Putties are used to connect to a Linux machine. Into any application, we use HTTPS. Okay, this should be only via our PAM solution, not directly. So how can we avoid it? I'll tell you in coming slides. Okay, how we restrict users to use this, and they have to go only via PAM solution, and all the sessions should be recorded. Okay, based on the need. That's already we are saying all every activity should be logged, and you should be uh, and it should be stored for an auditing purpose. Okay, everything should be logged and it should be available for an auditing purpose. Okay, and security monitoring should be happening. As I told you, we should see that no malicious usage should happen. Okay, if anything is happen, it should alert us and terminate the session, and then everything should be reported. Everything should be reported. One second, please. Yeah, and reports can be generated based on the usage and thing. Okay, now one more a small question. What is the highest risk of PAM solution? Okay, will help to minimize. First one, IT administrators abusing the admin privileges to access unauthorized data. Okay, or sensitive. Second one, sensitive passwords are stored on documents and spreadsheet. Or third, malicious usage of privileged accounts. Okay, just have a look at that question and the options, and you can share your option in the chat. Okay, in which of these three cases our PAM solution will help us? Okay, whether it is for IT administrator abusing the admin privileges, or storing of sensitive password, or malicious usage of privileged accounts. Yeah. 3, 3, 1. Yes, Dr. Ashok and Subramaniam are right. The option is 3. Okay, I'll tell you here why option 3 is right, why not option 1. Okay, this you will understand in our coming next 1 or 2 slides. You will get a clear this it actually PAM solution helps in all the three cases. It helps in all the three cases, but it is majorly used for option 3. It is majorly used for option 3. Here we are talking about what? Privilege accounts. We are not talking about only IT administrators, because one type of privilege account is IT administrators. Okay, not all the privilege accounts are IT administrators. We have different types of accounts. Okay, which have privilege accounts. Okay, so the option is this one. Okay, this is a basic introduction of PAM. What is PAM? Privilege access management and thing. Now we look at our CyberArk. Before do that, we have Google. Fine. See, CyberArk is not only the tool available in market for PAM solution. Okay, this is where I am expertise of. That's it. Okay, we have like Beyond Trust, CyberArk, Manage Engine, One Identity, many other things. Okay, these many ping access, many solutions are available. Okay, till now what we have discussed, what is PAM, what is requirement, what are components, all are same here, but the mechanism, their architecture differs. Okay, you can even search for top PAM tools. See, when you click on top PAM tools, CyberArk come in the first page. Okay, so CyberArk is currently leading in PAM solution. Okay, that is for sure. Find this sample agenda overview. Okay, again a simple introduction. What is a privilege account? I don't want to repeat everything, but here the concept is this: privilege account is like keys to the kingdom. If you have access to the privilege account, you can do whatever you want. It is like key to the kingdom. So we have to secure it. Okay, there is a kingdom. We built all big walls around the kingdom, but there is a door. On the door there is a small lock. Okay, so you have to protect that lock, because no one will go and try collapsing the walls. They will first try to what, collapse the lock, which is a simple way. So that is a key to the kingdom. And what are the privilege accounts? As I told you, see why option 1 is wrong, because in option 1 talks only about IT administrators, which is only one type of account. We not only have IT administrators, we have root on Unix, sys on Oracle database, okay, enable on a Cisco application, like we have services, we have applications, we have many other things. Many things comes under privilege accounts. It's not only a human account. Okay, we have many non-human accounts. It is said that there are 3x more privilege account than employees. For an example, in a company, if there are 1,000 employees, they might be having 3,000 privilege accounts. I hope you are understanding the difference between only IT administrator and privilege accounts. Because see here, privilege accounts can be used by any identity. It can be a system administrator, or it can be a third party service provider, or it can be application itself, okay, or a selected business user, or social network accounting manager. It can be anything. Until recently, what I said, until recently only IT admins were considered privileged users. So if there are 100, example, if there are 100, or if I say 1,000 employees are there, hardly we have 4 or 5 administrators, IT administrators. But now it is not the case. Almost any identity can be privileged, okay, under given certain conditions. Given under certain conditions, anything can be a privilege account. So it's a business need. They should divide which they need to categorize as a privilege accounts. I hope you got why option 1 is wrong and why option 3 is right here. Okay, what are the challenges and threats? 80% of security breaches involves what? Compromise privileged credentials. Okay, 80% is hackers try to steal credentials. That too, credentials of what? Privilege accounts. What will they do if they try to hack a normal account's credentials? Nothing. They can't even enter into the network. So they always try to target privilege accounts. So here a small example. Okay, here what it says, technology changes but attacker pattern zone. Okay, so here we have two types of, suppose we assume we have two types of attackers. One is external attacker, and one is internal attacker. External attacker's job, first job is to access to the remote vendors or IT administrator or a business user, developer, robot or application. He mainly try to target what? Business user, because without help of their credentials he can't enter into the network. He can't enter into what? Network. But whereas internal attacker who is already internal, he can directly skip the firewall thing. He can easily skip the firewall thing. Then after getting into this part, what does the internal attacker do? Internal attacker already have a least privilege. We see that all will have the least privilege. So inside the servers and everything, he try to have a what? Lateral and vertical movement. First step is what? Credential theft, which external attackers do. We need to what? Try to prevent that in first case. Next, suppose this is already done. Credentials have been theft or internal attack, both will land in this area. Okay, here they try to move what? They try to access which are not authorized for them. Okay, so we should do what? We should try to stop it. We should try to stop that. Then if even using this, if even they try to cross on the second boundary, we should see if they get hold to our major system. Okay, with the privilege account we should see that privilege escalation should not happen, because we are thinking even if it is an administrator a privilege account, even there is a limits we set. We should see that they don't increase their privileges. We should see that they don't increase their privilege and abuse the system. Once again, okay, we'll just have a look at a typical life cycle of a cyber attack. Okay, a typical life cycle of a cyber attack. Okay, so here again we have two types of threats. One is internal threat, one is external threat. Okay, there will be a network perimeter, or that is our firewall. If he try to compromise that perimeter, he enters into the our network. And coming to internal threat, who is already in our network, first what they do, step one is that they escalate their privileges. They try to escalate their privileges. Then they what? Search for the loopholes. They search for the loopholes inside, and again they move laterally and again increase their privileges. Step by step they'll try to increase their privileges, and then after they get hold of the privileges what they're looking for, either they can disturb the business or they can steal our data. So here everything is happening with what? Escalated privileges. Normal accounts can't do this. Even they are inside with a normal account, there is nothing. They can not move internally, or they cannot copy or send the data. They cannot disturb the data. This can be happen only with the help of what? Privilege accounts. Okay, so here what we need to do, where we need to stop in this case, we need to stop in two places. First place, we should stop them before having access to any privilege accounts. Okay, even an internal threat or external threat should be avoided here. In case if this is missed, we should see that they will not upgrade themselves. Okay, they should not upgrade their privilege accounts. So here comes our CyberArk. See here comes our CyberArk, and it holds in two positions. It will not allow threats to have access to privilege account, and it will see that privilege accounts don't upgrade themselves. Okay, so all these things can be avoided. What things can be avoided? Credential theft can be avoided. Okay, reconciliation, that is what, searching for loopholes can be avoided, movement can be avoided, privilege escalations can be avoided, and the repetition can be avoided. Okay, but not penetration. Penetration is not in the scope of PAM solution. Here, penetration, that is under scope of what? Our firewalls. So this is a how do we generally protect? So first we have what? Our perimeter security. What is our perimeter security? Is our firewalls. These are our top firewalls. Cisco, we have Palo Alto, Semantics, FireEye. These all are what? Our firewalls which protect us from external threats. They cannot protect us from internal threats. Okay. Next, we have what? Security control over inside the network. Inside the network, we have like CA technologies, Impervia, RSA. These try to protect our inside network. Then we have monitoring tools. What are the different monitoring tools? Like we have what? IBM, not IBM. Here it is like IBM provides a solution of IBM QRadar. Okay, IBM QRadar with loggings and everything. Have a Splunk application. HP also provides some solutions where all the loggings happen. Okay, everything gets logged. All the logs are being captured. What is just logs capture will happen. This will have this will monitor all your local accounts or everything. But coming to only privilege accounts, that is our CyberArk. Okay, all the clouds, endpoints, on-prem solutions, Internet of Things, okay, industrial control systems, everything wherever privilege account have access is protected using our CyberArk solution here. So what it does, okay, so these are our privilege accounts. Either we can have what? Internal threat, or we can have an external threat. Threat need not be only a human. It can be a program, it can be a bot, it can be application, it can be anything. So first thing is what? We have to have what? A proactive protection. That is, first thing is we have to secure our credentials and see that only authorized users have access to that, and individual is accountable. Individual accountability, I tell you, suppose there is a database server. Okay, the username is admin and the password is some password. Anyone want to access the database should use the same user id and password. If Mujib want to use, I should use same. If Raj want to use, he have to use same. Okay, if some other guy want to use, he have to use same thing. But we should differentiate who is using that admin user ID and password. Is it Mujib, or is it Raj, or it is something Subramanyam, or it is something else? We need to differentiate that. So individual should be accountable even using the commonly shared passwords. This can be done using what? Session isolation. This can be done in session isolation. Sorry, session isolation means if same database is there, two peoples are working together, his session should be different, another session should be different. Not only database, on an application or a server. Okay, and we have to limit the scope of privileges. We have to always keep in our mind, limit the privileges. Privileges should be given only to the extent they are needed. And we have to look at what? Targeted detection. Like we have to do a continuous monitoring. We have to look for any malicious behavior or high risk behavior. This all we have already seen in what? Our PAM slides. These are the, there were the basic things, and these are specifically we are talking. You should raise an alert or you should terminate a session. Okay, so that's what I see. The session should be suspended or terminated. If you feel like some malicious thing is happening, some unwanted code is being run, some unnecessary commands are being executed, hmm, so this should be have, and full forensic record the activity. Okay, everything, every activity, every even the keystroke should be recorded for all the privileged accounts. Now we'll see what are the key features of CyberArk PAN. So the discovery, yep. So as I said you, every system will have a local admin. Every system will have a local admin like administrator and password. So here what CyberArk does is we run a discovery cycle every week, or depending on the requirement, we have a discovery cycle. What discovery cycle will do? Discovery cycle will search for all the local accounts present on a server. Okay, then it onboard those accounts with their passwords in their vault. What is a digital vault? You know, vault in banks we have vaults. In vaults we store our ornaments, gold, cash, documents. Okay, vault is like a good safe. Safe is individual, collection of safe is a vault. If you have been to a bank for lockers, okay, before you enter into locker room there will be a big door and vault, so that is a vault. So suppose a Unix is there, okay, these are the privilege accounts, okay. So root, the password is stored in the vault. System, password, Windows, everything is stored in the vault. Okay. Not only storing, what does it do? We have a component CPM. Okay. One second. We have what? One of the major component of first major component of CyberArk is a vault. Second component is CPM. What is CPM? CPM is Central Policy Manager. So what it does? CPM will decide based on our policies what should be the complexity of the password, what should be the length of the password, how frequently password should be changed. Rotation frequency means the password should be changed, how frequently the password should be changed. Okay, these are the two. We have many other components, but the basic two components are vault and CPM. Here we are talking about what? Passwords and everything. I told you we need to isolate the credentials and sessions. Okay, the isolation is happening using what? PVWA. The isolation and of credentials and sessions will happen using PVWA. PVWA stands for Password Vault Web Access. It will say what? Password Vault Web Access. So if you want to access anything, first you have to enter into what? PVWA. Once you enter into PVWA user your credentials, then you can have a RDP session which is initiated using what? PSM, that is Privilege Session Manager. Our third component is PVWA. Our fourth component is PSM. What is our component 1? Vault. Component 2, CPM. Component 3, PVWA. Component 4, PSM. So here our PSM or our CyberArk ensures that there is no direct RDP connection. You can't have a direct RDP connection. You should connect only through PSM. The PSM is available only PVWA. How do we enforce this? I will explain you with one block diagram. Don't worry. Okay. First we'll have a light theoretical part. Then I will tell you how this can be achieved in real time. How can we avoid users using direct RDPs? I'll tell you. Don't worry. So generally what will happen? A user will be there. User will be logged into PVWA. PVWA is like a home page. Like you log in into your Facebook or Instagram using your credentials. You just log in into that. Once you log in into PVWA, you will see the list of servers for which you have access. You have to click on that server. Then our PSM will establish the connectivity between user and target system. The PSM in between, this does the recording, this does the monitoring. It has control to terminate your session. It will do everything. PSM will do everything, and everything recorded, everything will be stored where? It will be stored in the vault. What we have seen in the previous thing. All this mechanism is helpful, or user will use it only if there is no direct RDP connection. If there is a direct RDP connection, user will not go via CyberArk. He will do a direct RDP session. How can we avoid this? We can avoid this if you don't share the credentials. Simple. If we don't share the credentials to log into server to the user, he can't have a direct RDP. If I don't know the username and password to access the server, you can't do it. Who is having that user ID and password? CyberArk is having the user ID and password. Where it is having? It is having in the vault. For some Linux machine, Unix machine, this is the user ID, this is the password, which is not known to the end user, which is not known to the end user, which is only there in CyberArk. Then what you have to do? You have to log into CyberArk. Only from CyberArk, CyberArk will connect to the target machine. So this is how we avoid the direct RDP sessions and enforce him to use CyberArk, which will in turn record, do monitoring, do everything. Okay. See here, this is how it look like. Screen, I think screenshot is not clear. See here. Example 1047. I'll see if I could zoom it. Yeah, I hope you are able to see. See, if this is a CyberArk admin console, in that we have option monitoring. If you go into monitoring, we will see what is that robot. Robot has logged in as DBA01. Understanding a normal ID. Robot don't have access to this server. Only DBA01 have access to this server, and DBA01 password is with only CyberArk, not with robot. So robot should log into his page. From there, he should select DBA, and our CyberArk will connect this DBA01 to this. Then it see everything is, he has used, okay, at 1042 for 1042 42 second. He has used select attribute, select char, begin database, select star from this. What all commands he is using, it is stored. Not only monitor, it is stored and recorded. We can view it later on. Whenever there is audit purpose, we can do it. Everything gets recorded. Okay, this is what recording and auditing happens. So here see, I told you, no, we have to check for the risk. Paul has connected as what? Root 02B on what? A target hyphen lin ACM corp machine. Okay, this is also a machine name. Okay, and when did he start the session? See here, monitor. I am looking at active sessions. Once session is disconnected, this will move to our recordings page, because now currently it is active, so it is in active page. Once the session is finished, it will go to recording. So here we get the score. This is automatically done, no manual intervention there. A score will be there, a alert will be sent to an admin. Admin can go open and monitor. If you click on monitor, a page will be open and he will able to see what Paul is doing without the knowledge of Paul. Whenever you do a monitor, no alert, nothing will be sent to Paul. A screen will be open and you can see everything. So based on, if you want to suspend, you can click on suspend, the session will be suspended. Then you can monitor, and if needed, you can resume. Or else if you want to terminate it completely, you can just click on terminate. Again, unless and until you provide the access, user will not able to log in again. So this all monitoring, recording, everything happens. So whenever first time user, not first time, whenever a new session is created, okay, this is highlighted to a user. Okay, generally here it will be your session is being recorded. whenever a user log into a session, same thing of notification will pop up saying that your session is being recorded, so that he will be careful. And whenever we suspend, the same thing is here, your session has been suspended. Once again, let me drink water. Okay, same notification will rise on saying that your session has been suspended. So you understood what are the key features of CyberArk here. We can do a discovery and we can manage, we can isolate the sessions, we can record or audit, we can do a monitoring, okay, we can remediate it, okay, we can remediate the actions. This works anywhere. It will work on on-premise solutions or on-premise solutions, it will work on cloud, okay, cloud servers or anything, or even it will work on hybrid model. There is no limitation. CyberArk is flexible and accessible everywhere. I told you already, we had this a brief thing. What are the major components of CyberArk? First one is Vault, okay, a secure server used to store privilege accounts information. All the privilege, I told you, know, admin, user ID and password, root, user ID and password, everything. Okay, it is stored in what? Digital Vault, where it is a Windows server based on hardening. What do you mean by hardening? Hardening means you close all the ports. There are many ports to a server. Okay, we have like 338922, many ports are there. But what we do, whichever server we treat it as a what, we do a hardening. We close all the ports and we keep only one port open, from where you can go into the vault, fetch the data out. All other ports are closed. Then we have what? PVWA, that is our password vault web access. Okay, it's like a web interface for a user to gain access to privilege account information. Gmail is there. You got what? Gmail.com, and you log into Gmail, where you can see all your data. Likewise, it's a web access page. Okay, which is generally configured by your administrator. Then we have our third component, that is our CPM. I told you CPM is what? Central Policy Manager. It will decide what should be the complexity of your password, what should be the length of the password, how frequently password should be changed. Okay, it will do all the things. Then you have what? PSM. What is PSM? PSM isolates and monitors the privilege accounts. It will do the recording. Okay, then we have this PTA, that is uh, which monitors and detects that malicious privilege account behavior. In the previous slide I have showed you, know, the score 90 or like this. Here, see this one. Okay, 90 score is high, so there is a risk. It alerts us. So this is our PTA. So these are our major components in CyberArk. Okay, this is generally our vault, and all other components are surrounding to the vault, because recordings are stored here, PW access are stored here, central policy access are stored here. Everything is in vault, and vault is hardened, so it has only one port open, remaining all ports closed. No unnecessary application, nothing will be there on that thing. Everything will be closed on that vault. Only CyberArk applications can access that vault, no other applications. Mm, okay, this is how your PVWA looks like. So when you log in into PVWA, this is how it looks like. Give me a second, please. sorry, yeah. See here. Here, if you see, Mike has login. Okay. After Mike has login, it is saying these are your servers or where you have access. Okay. Mike has access to only these. In an organization, there will be some thousands of servers, but as per his requirement, if he's a developer or a tester, based on that, these are where he has access, and that too not on his account, Mike account. These are the names which have access. This AWS test user have access to AWS Amazon.com. Okay, for this Mike has the access. So Mike will log into his PVWA from here. If you see, there is an option to connect. When you click on the connect, a RDP session is established using PSM. Then he can work on that machine. Okay, safes are nothing but which are stored in the vault. In vault, we have different safes. I don't want to go in what is platform ID. It will be too technical. This is how our PVWA page look like. Mm, This is our classic interface. This is a new interface. Okay. Now currently this is the interface what we are using. Before this was introduced, this was the old, not so attractive. Okay, but it has many options here itself. Okay, reconcile means we can reconcile the password, we can change the password, we can verify the password. This all things we can keys and everything. Nowadays it's more simpler. We use this as our PVWA page. Okay, this is how our vault look like. This is our vault page. See, this is our privilege log. This is our vault, and these are all our individual safes. Okay, inside we will have which safe, who is the owner, and who has the access to which safe, and all our recordings and everything will be stored here. This is how a vault look like. Let it be uh, so this like an old Windows system, but this is how even for today's date, because of hardening, many of features will not run on the vault. So it prefers the old school way. Okay, client will log in into PVWA using HTTP. PVWA will authenticate the user from vault. If it is successful, it will give the success response. Then client, based on his privileges, he can add a user. If his client is an admin, he can add a user and do anything. This is the flow. Client does not have access to vault directly. He have to go into PVWA. From PVWA, either he can access vault if he has privileges, or a PSM to create a RDP session, so on. This is something. Okay. Mm, mm. Okay. This is how in real time it looks like. Okay. So first thing first. First, what is step one? Step one. Suppose there is a target machine. A target machine has a privilege account. What is that privilege account? For example, username is admin, password is also password. That admin and password, it is stored in vault. It is stored in some safe with the target machine name. In that user ID and password is stored here. Now there is a end user who want to access this target machine. As he don't know what is the user ID and password, so he can't directly access it. He can't do RDP. He'll do RDP, enter the server address. Then when asked for a password, a user ID and password, he don't know. Okay. So what he does, he has to log into PVWA. Before to that, he will raise a request. I need access to this machine. Once his manager approves, and it ticket got generated, then a CyberArk admin will onboard this target machine details onto the end user's PVWA page. I hope you are understanding the flow. There is a target machine. The target machine privileged credentials are stored in the vault. Okay. Then a user come up with an request with a proper approval that he need access to the target machine. Then that uh, target machine is mapped to the end user only with username, not with the password. As I already shown you. So for Mike, we have what onboarded the server 10.0.20.1 with the username, not with the password. Okay, password is always there in the vault. So now what does user do? User will connect into PVWA using his own credentials. Mike will log in with Mike credentials, Mujib will log in with Mujib credentials. This is how you isolate the sessions. Okay, once a response is generated, you will have access. Okay, you will connect to the WebSocket and you will have a access to the HTML5 gateway. From here, you click on connect. Once you click on connect, a RDP session is established with the help of PSM. A RDP session to the target machine is established with the help of PSM. PSM will go to the vault, fetch the user ID, it will fetch from here, and that for the corresponding user ID, password is fetched from here, and it is entered into target machine, and finally RDP session is established. There user can work anything. When a session is established, a pop-up will come up saying that your session is being recorded and everything will be monitored. Okay, this is how it is being done. Any doubts so far? Any doubts? You're free to post it in the chat. No doubts. Hello. At least am I audible? Yes, no.
Sir, yes, sir. Audible, sir. Audible. So audible, sir. Your voice. Okay. So,
Okay, you can just Google for CyberArk docs. Okay, this will open up this page. You have various things. You have very beautiful documentation and everything here available. You can just have a look at it. So even in CyberArk, we have two things. 1 second. Sorry. Um, there are many things, access and identity management. So today's session was on privilege access management. Okay, PAM. So if you scroll down here and if you look at what CyberArk Privilege Cloud. Okay, this is of our more interest. So if you open this, okay, you will see all the things. Okay, how to get started, how to set up that. Okay, what is an administrator, what is an end user. Okay, please go through this documentation. Okay, and if possible, go through, get started, and go all through all this document and everything. If you have any doubts on this, we will discuss this in our afternoon session. In the afternoon session, what we'll be looking at, we'll be looking at other cyber security tools, not CyberArk, not only PAM, even for key or we say password management and everything. We'll just have a overview of different tools which are trending in cyber security market. For different, for email security, what do we have? For DNS security, what do we have? For password security, what do we have? For our domain protection, what tools are available? For our endpoints, what tools are available? We'll just have a small session, not small session, we'll have a session in afternoon, just highlighting all the tools and how they are used. Okay, and for now, please go through these documents and everything. uh, Ashwak sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So my name is Nagaraju, sir.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello sir, actually I'm done for morning session.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, so, dear participants, the next session will be start at 2 o'clock at 2 p.m. So, short said the one link shared in short box. So, that link this was very useful for us. So, try to one hands on this link. Okay. So, next session will be start at 2 p.m. Thank you. Okay.
Yep, thank you all. We'll meet once again in afternoon session.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
This conference is no longer being recorded.